Happy Valentine's, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
We appreciate you tuning in to another edition of the Mopes and Hoodies podcast.
And for once, we're both wearing hoodies at the start of the show.
Right? I mean, this is like a zip-up hoodie, but it counts.
Hey, does it have a hood on it?
Yeah, it does.
Exactly, it's a
Yeah,
hoodie.
it does.
Doesn't matter.
Well, Kevin, how are you?
Well, Ryan, I'm doing all right. You know, Valentine's Day really isn't my forte, but you know what? Sports is. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah, no black eyes. You got your beard back.
Yeah?
You're looking ready to rock.
I am.
All right, well, we have a lot of topics to cover.
Yes, we do.
A lot of things going in the NBA.
NBA.
Baseball is starting up with spring training.
I was going to say that. The Cubs signed Hugh Darvish.
Huge.
Extra huge.
Huge.
And don't forget about those lovely things that come every 4 years. The Olympics is on!
So we will debate also the greatest athletes of all time. So.
Yes. So you definitely do not want to miss that because there will be a lot of talking, debating, shouting, and maybe even some fighting.
Yes.
Who knows?
Other black guys. Okay, so NBA news. Lot of things have happened. So it seems like a different kind of thing that just, a different kind of set of teams that have happened.
Yes.
So let's get into that.
Well, I mean, Ryan, let's just kick off with the team that made the most obvious moves. It's the Cavaliers. First of all, they sent Derrick Rose and Iman Shumpert to the Jazz for George Hill and Rodney Hood. Which George Hill, if everyone remembers, a little bit older of a point guard, a little bit more of a veteran presence at the point guard position. He's professional. He's been there before. Pretty good. And then Rodney Hood's going to be developing into a really good scorer in the NBA. And, the Derrick Rose, then there's the rumors about Derrick Rose, where he's going to end up now.
Bulls.
I would love if he came back to the Bulls.
Really?
I would love it.
What? And now, why would you love it?
Because he doesn't belong in another uniform that's not Chicago. The man is from Chicago.
So as a respect factor, you want him back there.
It's not just a respect factor, but in all honesty, guess what? As much as he's been hurt, the man can still play.
Right.
He can still play.
Yeah.
And whether you want that veteran presence or something like that, guess what? Derrick Rose isn't going to want to be a free agent forever, so I'm not sorry, but his options are limited. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see what the Bulls do, if they're going to take a chance on that, or if they're going to keep their eyes front and say, no, we're not going to add any more veteran players. We're still trying to get rid of the ones that we have, and we're going to see what they do. And then going back with the Cavs, and the big trade, I think, for them is Larry Nance Jr. and Jordan Clarkson from the Lakers. And they sent Isaiah Thomas to the Lakers. Did you see Isaiah Thomas's quote after his first practice?
Go ahead and say it.
Saying that this is his first real practice the whole season because this man felt like LeBron talked down to him.
And he played terrific in his first game
with them. He did. And I can appreciate the fact that he said that he's not coming to LA just to be content with riding the bench, with coming off the bench. Guess what? Well, I'm sure LeVar has a thing or two to say about that. But if Isaiah Thomas keeps playing as well as he has, because I'm honestly going to say this, Ryan, Lonzo Ball hasn't been as impressive as everybody thought he would.
Look, dude, I think it's such a disgrace, the fact that he's sitting on the bench. I'll be 100% honest with you.
Yep.
Isaiah Thomas is one of my favorite players in the NBA. He was in the running for MVP last year.
Yes.
And he keeps getting traded off to these players. off to these teams. He, coming from the Celtics, he goes to Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep.
Doesn't get respect there.
No, because he's hurt for the first part of the season, which is no fault of his own.
I don't know. And then now he's in L.A., and we'll see what happens there. And he's coming off the bench. And, again, you already stated why. I just don't understand why he's behind Lonzo. I get that that's, like, their future player. But I think it's just it's disrespectful. I think that he deserves his right to play.
You know who's probably loving this right now?
Who?
D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he got traded. He got booted out of L.A., got sent to Brooklyn so that they could have space, for Daddy's dear daddy LeVar's precious son Lonzo.
Yep.
And Lonzo, I'm not going to say he's been a disappointment, but he's looked average.
I'm not a fan of him.
I don't like his personality. Actually, no, it's not even I don't like his personality because off the court, the guy, he's actually pretty funny. He's not being smothered by his dad. But on the court, he just looks so lackadaisical. Like, it looks like he just doesn't care. Like, he's not interested in being there. And I don't know if you saw this latest report to come out of the ball camp, actually, that LeVar came out and said that if the Lakers don't sign LiAngelo and LaMelo, Lonzo will not be playing for the Lakers.
Then what is he going to do? Where's he going to go?
Lithuania. Playing LeVar's new league over there.
That is... God, the guy just drives me crazy. Mm-hmm. You really think that you have the power of the world that you're just going to be able to take your sons out of the NBA like that?
Well, evidently he thinks he does.
He signed a contract. His name was signed down there. You got to play a certain amount of years. You can't just take somebody out. And I think it's a ridiculous idea for them to even go over there.
Yeah, well, guess what? Apparently he's the one that makes the decisions.
Right. And then you have Dwayne Wade, who was sent off to Miami, and I like that. Miami. I do like that.
Yes.
Because I think that he, just like how you said with Derrick Rose, I think that he should be in the Miami Heat.
Dwayne Wade should have never have been in a jersey that wasn't a Miami Heat jersey in the first place.
And I think that he was just doing a retirement party over in Chicago because, obviously he lived here and he wanted to be here forever.
He wanted to get that cash.
Right.
He wanted to get that cash.
He wanted to get that cash, so he got that. He got what he wanted, and now he's in Miami. So this is his send-off. I'm guessing this is probably going to be his last year.
He's coming to an end.
Yeah. I think that he probably had some talk into that, too, like, hey, we're going to trade you.
Yes.
And we're going to trade you where you want to go. And he's like, obviously, to Miami. I'm going to be done with that. And I think that's probably what's going on with Derrick Rose, how we stated.
Yep, we'll see.
If he comes to Chicago, I honestly don't think that he's got it, in his head to play another couple seasons because of all this injury that he keeps having.
No,
I think that he's done, man. I think he's over. He's over, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of him coming back.
And it's tragic because I heard this on Mully and Hanley the other day on 670 The Score. Someone called in and said, how can you feel bad for someone who's getting paid millions of dollars? The same old discussion. How are you going to feel bad for someone who's getting paid millions of dollars to play a game when there's people out here doing real work and barely scraping by? I'm like, okay, so you're not going to feel bad for a guy because Derrick Rose was in a dark place by his own admission. He was in a dark place after he had his second, third, fourth knee surgery.
Yeah.
And the guy pointed to, when he was cleared by the doctors that he didn't come back right away. Well, I'm not going to compare myself to Derrick Rose because obviously I'm not. I did have a similar surgery this past fall. I had meniscus surgery, and Derrick Rose has had a couple of meniscus surgeries. You have to go through physical therapy and rehab and that sort of stuff.
Right.
Ryan, it is terrifying to go back to your first workout or your first game, your first practice after having as many knee injuries as him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed the guy was even playing at all.
Right.
Because just what that does to you mentally, you can't describe it mentally. So you're not going to get upset at someone who's a construction foreman and throws out his back for being scared of lifting something for fear that his back's going to get thrown out again.
Right.
So
yeah, mentally, I know that he's just not into it, and I think if you're a respectful fan, you still got to cheer for him if he comes back. I will obviously be happy if this is his last year, and he says, I want to go out that way because I think that was actually a good thing that the Cavs did out of this trade.
It was,
and
the Jazz released him, so then he's the master of his own fate at this point,
right?
If he wants to keep playing, he can keep playing. If he doesn't want to, then he doesn't have to.
And if I had to guess, he's coming back to Chicago. If I had to guess.
Because I don't think he's about to, because there's the rumors that he's going to be reunited with Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota. I don't think he's going to want him because his son, I believe, is 3, maybe 4.
Mm-hmm. And he has already talked about a future outside of the NBA.
Exactly. What is he going to do? He's not going to pack up his family, his wife, and his 3-4-year-old son and move him to Minnesota. What's he going to do? Spend the rest of the season away from his family in Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's just not right. I wouldn't do that either if I was him.
Right.
And then you know what, Ryan? I guess we'll move to baseball a little bit. because it is towards the end of February.
Okay, let's get into that.
And obviously the signing of the entire offseason, because really nobody else has been signed because baseball people are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And that Yu Darvish, what was it, 5 years, $126 million?
Yep. Hugh Darvish is now a Chicago Cub. He came from the LA Dodgers, who were just in the World Series.
And Ryan, that is a game changer for the rest of the league. That is a game changer for the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Because you already had Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks last year when he came back from that knee injury or from that injury, oh my God. He was lights out throwing that baseball. John Lester's like 50,000 years old, but somehow he can still throw the ball across the plate and get people out.
Right.
And who am I missing right now?
Well, you're missing Arrieta, but Arrieta's going to be gone.
Arrieta's not coming back.
Yeah, he will be. I would be shocked.
Someone's gonna pay him.
Yeah. I will be shocked if Arrieta is back. If you look at the projected starting rotation, you've John Lester, Hugh Darvish, Jose Quintana.
Oh, I forgot about Quintana.
From the South Side. Kyle Hendricks and Tyler Chatwood. So we have a set roster for pitching.
Yep.
There's a good outlook.
Now the question is, can you guys figure out that damn bullpen?
I mean, that's a big question. I mean, we just picked up Brandon Murrow from another team too. So Carl Edwards, and we have a whole bunch of people. I mean, look, we gotta hope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gotta believe.
And I will say do you know what, Ryan? The scariest thing, if you're a hitter, about Yu Darvish is, I imagine you've seen it on social media, where all 6 of his pitches, there was a GIF, the exact same arm slot, the exact same release point, all 6 pitches, and they all end up in different places. How?
Right.
How?
He's got good stuff, man. He's got good stuff, and he's really good at striking people out.
And guess what? People are saying, oh, well, the Astros. Guess what? That's the Astros doing their homework. Like, he has a slight tell. Guess what? Nobody else in baseball figured it out. You just got to give credit where credit is due for that. So the Astros did their homework.
Yeah. I mean, a real cool thing about right now I'm on rosterresource.com. This is where we're getting all of our information. So they give you projections.
Yep.
Okay, so they're projecting how many strikeouts Yu Darvish will have. He right now will go down for having the most on the team with 229 strikeouts. That is a lot of strikeouts, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a lot of people.
Right. So
Jesus, I don't even think I know 229 people.
He honestly, he's going to be coming over. He's probably going to be our best pitcher.
Oh yeah.
Compared to what I'm seeing right now on the roster, but Kyle Hendricks is the real deal.
Yes, he is.
John Lester, he's going to, he's
old.
He's old, but he's got that experience. Tyler Chatwood he's an interesting guy for coming over here too. He's right now projected to be on the 5th role.
Okay.
But
guess what? I think you'll be seeing that 2 and 3 flip with Quintana and Lester.
Lester?
Because, dude, I know you guys had Quintana in the second half of the season. But when he was on the White Sox, do you know why he didn't get more publicity? Because of this guy named Chris Sale. And Quintana's the real deal. He can throw the ball.
He is the real deal. I mean,
he is.
he's got some good stuff.
I honestly felt really happy for him once he was on a team that was actually dedicated to winning. Because for the longest time, Quintana, I think he had the lowest run support per game. Right. On the entire White Sox pitching staff in the first half of the season last year. Like, in the entire, not just on his team, but in the entire American League. I think they scored maybe an average of like 1.2 runs a game or something like that. Don't quote me on that stat because it's probably wrong. But the point is, he didn't get any type of run support.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at the roster right now for the Cubs, the only thing that I'm scared about, like you already brought up, is our bullpen.
Yep.
And I mean, we got rid of we keep swapping out of closers.
Yeah, because you let Wade Davis walk. So,
and we did the same thing with Chapman. We got a World Series out of it, but now you're looking into it. Now we're looking into what's the plan now? What's the plan with our closer? Now the free agency market for this year has been low as it could be.
It's been non-existent because nobody's been signing anybody.
That's why it's interesting that we got Brandon Merrill. And then, I would not be shocked if they put Carl Edwards in there. He's got good stuff. I mean, he's been working on his changeup, but he's a guy that's you got to pay attention to as well. Out of all the people that are on the roster,
it's a very underrated pitch is the changeup. No one seems to really throw it too much anymore.
Especially if you have a really good fastball, that throws a lot of people off.
It doesn't even have to be an amazing fastball. It's just if you can change speeds off of it. Like, there's guys, they'll throw, like, Mark Burley is my perfect example. He can only throw 88, 89, maybe 90 miles an hour. Once he'd throw his changeup would be at, like, 72.
Right.
You going that much of a difference in changing speeds, oof, you're not going to be hittable.
Right. So now, let's get into the Olympics.
Yes, sir.
Real cool stuff happened.
The Flying Tomato is back, baby. Yeah. Shaun White gets his 3rd career gold medal in the halfpipe after his... Really, I mean, Ryan, let's be honest. That was a tragic fall that he had at Sochi. And I don't know if you saw, he had 62 stitches in his face from that accident. And to come back, because he won it in Torino in 2006, way back when he was all 19 years old.
Yeah.
So,
those Mountain Dews, baby.
So what are we doing with our lads? We're 21, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then he won in 2000. What would that have been? 2010. And was that which Olympic Games was that one? Was that London was a Summer Games, right?
Was it Russia?
Was it Sochi?
I think it was Sochi.
All right, then what was the last Winter Olympics then?
Beijing?
No, that was a Summer Games.
Oh, we're going to have to look this
Okay,
up.
well, the point is that he won 2 gold medals, and then he kind of fell on his face, and then he came back last night. He had a great first run. He was really hyped up. And then, I don't know, Ryan, if you saw that run the guy from Japan had. He had a really great run, took the lead. And it was literally do or die for Shaun White last night in 2:14.10s.
It's ridiculous.
For anyone who wants to know how much that is, I believe, if my math is correct, I believe that is 6 or 7 times around.
Yep.
So that'll put it in perspective as to how amazing that run was. And it was just amazing to see the kind of emotion that he had once he found out that was good enough to put him back in the lead and for him to win a gold medal.
Yeah, he was with his mother.
Yes, he was.
And he was crying. And that really touched your heartstrings. You're like, man, you really deserved it. And you know what really pumped me up before even the Olympics got here was his commercial. Did you see that commercial that he had for him?
Yes.
It was like,
it was awesome.
He's coming back. Like,
oh, yeah. Because think about it. All those guys that we had growing up, your Sean Davis, your Apollo Ono, all those, Bodie Miller. I mean, you can count Lindsey Vonn as one of them. I mean, obviously she's not a guy, but Shaun White's like the only one left from that era of Olympians for the United States.
Right.
And for him to go out in his last Olympics and just dominate like that and just throw out, like, that's going to be the highlight of all highlights for him.
Yeah, he's a legit guy when it comes to
games and
this is actually an interview that I wanted to bring up.
Is that the interview?
I had unlimited service after that. I was getting drinks and I was getting snacks and I was taking photos in the back with all the students. It was fun.
Wait a minute, drinks? You're 19 years old.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mountain Dews, baby.
I'm talking Mountain Dews, baby.
But anyway,
I think for the Olympic standpoint, it's really cool to see him win. Another thing that happened, which I take pretty cool things about this, especially because I used to figure skate. You probably didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I used to figure skate.
Really?
And I was extremely good at it.
Huh.
I actually did it with a pair. I did it with another girl.
Yeah.
And I did it throughout majority until I got into high school because I was good at football, so I quit.
Yep.
But we were pretty good. But the thing is, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because it was a historic thing that happened.
Yes.
Is that I'm going to probably butcher her name. Is Maria Nagasugu?
Okay.
But she helped the U.S. Win Olympic bronze in team skate. And she did it by landing a triple axel. And that is an extremely rare move to pull off, especially in figure skating. There's only been a couple people to do it, and as a woman, it's extremely hard to pull off. There's only been a handful of men to do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so usually you see that.
Congrats to you.
The power that you have to get to be able to land that move off. And I thought it was extremely impressive, and we'll have to see what's going to go on for the rest of the Olympics.
Yes, we are.
It just started, so that's the exciting thing. So on this date, 28 years ago, Michael Jordan wore number 12 after...
Oh, yeah, because his jersey got stolen.
His jersey got stolen, and the man still dropped 49 points. Which leads me into our next topic and begs the question of the greatest athlete of all time or the greatest dominating athletes of all time.
Okay.
So what's your top 10?
Okay, so if we're going to go with dominating athletes first, does it have to be in a particular order? Because I didn't really write these down in any particular order.
If you want to put it into... at least the top 5. Let's say that. But you can give me your top 10 at least.
I
put
gave
them in there.
top 10. All right, so top 10. Actually, no. My most dominating is Michael Phelps.
Okay.
Because,
Okay.
Come on.
That was the one that we talked about before the show.
Usain Bolt comes after that.
Oh.
Fastest man in the world for 3 Olympic Games. Mm-hmm. And let's see, the Olympics come every 4 years, so 4, 8. That's the fastest man in the world for over a decade.
You're giving homage to the Olympics. I like it. I like it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. And then Michael Jordan dominated the game of basketball as a wing player, as a guard, like nobody ever has or probably ever will again.
Right.
Next, I put Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor.
Because Lawrence Taylor dominated the way football was played. He changed the left tackle position to being the most important position on the field besides the quarterback.
Okay.
Then I actually put Shaquille O'Neal.
Whoa. Shaquille O'Neal. He did dominate. That is for sure thing.
Name me another guy who's 7 feet tall, takes a rebound, goes coast to coast, crosses over, and dunks it in someone's face.
Just get him on the free throw line.
I'll take it, though.
Okay, go on.
Then Bo Jackson, because for that period of a couple of years, man, Bo Jackson was an unstoppable force. Wilt Chamberlain, because, again, another guy that changed the way that basketball was played.
Okay.
Next, this might surprise you. I went with a baseball guy on this one. Randy Johnson.
So is this your top athletic?
This is me. This is the dominating athletes.
Whoa. Okay.
I mean, the guy.
I'm shocked that you have not brought up a couple people, but we will get into that.
Randy Moss.
Okay. The freak.
Yes. Also, I put in Mike Vick.
What?
Dude, Ryan, you were around back then, and you saw what happened when that man came out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I'd put him in the list.
All right, do you want to have him be an honorable mention then? Because I'm interested, and then
it's your list. I mean, don't tell. I'm not telling you how to pick.
And then 2 other guys I had were both Chicago Bears, Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers.
Okay. Okay, you had dominating. Okay, so I'm shocked that you didn't have any of these, and I'm sure that you probably.
I'm probably
pick differently.
I bet I'll probably kick myself.
Yeah, you'll probably pick it. I can't, because you just gotta look at things and how they dominated their sports, and I'm talking years, dude.
Okay.
I'm talking.
Okay, so you're looking at longevity too, not just the impact they had.
I'm not talking about one season and they dominated. Okay. I'm talking about a whole career.
Okay, and actually, then I gotta put 2 more in. Then I gotta put LeBron, and I have to put Vince Carter.
So you put LeBron in.
Yes.
And you put Vince Carter in there.
Yes.
But you don't put a Michael Jordan.
Well, Michael Jordan was already in there. I said that already.
Okay.
Ryan, he was like the 3rd person I said.
I think it's just I'm just shocked that you didn't put some of the people that I'm going to name off.
Okay.
I got Michael Jordan.
Okay, good.
Okay, because how could you?
Because he's the GOAT. That's the end of the discussion.
He's the greatest I mean, I would probably put him at number 1 on my list.
Okay.
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, the reason why I didn't put Gretzky on there is because Gretzky was really, really, really good. I mean, obviously, greatest hockey player of all time. But I guess I was thinking more like physically, too, in addition to how they played the game. Because obviously, if you're just going by that, then Gretzky, and do you know what? I want to see if you put this other guy that I'm thinking of from hockey in there. So I'm just going to keep quiet while you keep listening off.
And then I put in Tom Brady.
Okay, definitely. Okay. I can see that one. Definitely.
Michael Phelps. So we got Michael Phelps.
Obviously. It's the GOAT.
Tiger Woods in his prime.
Oh.
In his prime. Yes.
Oh, get Tiger Woods on Sunday, baby, and have him in the red shirt, black pants, black hat. It's over with. Roger
Federer from tennis.
Interesting.
Absolutely dominated that sport.
Interesting, except when he was on clay.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, he's got one issue there. But Randy Moss. So we have Randy Moss there.
Good.
Babe Ruth.
Oh.
And I got to put some baseball guys in there.
Okay.
And I didn't really think of this. Now, I thought that Randy Johnson, back when he was pitching, was so dominating.
Oh my God. The guy won. Do you realize he won, I believe I have the stat, 6 Cy Youngs. 6. He led the league in strikeouts, I think, 8 different times.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just the intimidation that you're a batter going up there, and then you see this big 6'10" guy on the mound, with this big burly mustache, and he's throwing a fastball and throwing it down the middle, and he's saying, try to hit it.
Yeah. And I would also put in Baumgartner from the Giants in baseball.
Interesting.
Because I think if I'm looking now, I also said that it's longevity there.
Okay.
But I think if I wanted to look into what he did in the playoffs,
yes.
What was it, 2 years ago?
Yes.
He absolutely he could not be touched.
He was unhittable.
He could not be touched.
If you were just going off, I know you said longevity. Corey Kluber in the playoffs a couple of years ago was unhittable.
Corey Kluber too. It was especially when we was facing the Cubs.
Do you know? Would you put Pedro Martinez in there?
No, that's a quick no for me.
What about Roger Clemens?
I would probably put Roger Clemens in there, but here's the deal: I didn't really pay attention to Roger Clemens, and one thing is because his career was blemished because of steroids, and we had that conversation last show. So I mean, if I had to pick somebody that was dominating, I mean, he would be really up there. I would put in Pete Rose.
Okay.
Because I think he's got almost every record in Major League Baseball.
Didn't realize he was a first baseman until a couple weeks ago.
He played every sport, every position.
Yep.
Every darn position. The guy was just a freak too.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, and Brock Lesnar. Well, no, that's my next one. Okay, so
Brock Lesnar, really?
No, I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into athletes.
Okay.
Now, let's go into the most athletic people. No, yeah, dominating sport. I kind of skipped over this.
Yep.
I kind of skipped over this, but that's why when I brought in Brock Lesnar, I was trying to get into boxing and MMA. So I'm a huge fan with boxing and mixed martial arts.
Yes.
And there was a time, especially in the dominating era, that Anderson Silva, could not be touched, and at that time he was no one could beat him. He was feared, and then I would also put in Floyd Mayweather.
I was just going to ask you if you were going to put in Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
Best defensive fighter ever.
You can't punch. You can't punch what you can't see.
Nope.
Okay.
What about here's one for boxing. Let's see what about guys like Roy Jones Jr.
For sure. In Roy Jones Jr.'s prime, you can consider him
one of the best knockout artists ever.
Yes. And in terms of boxing, Mike Tyson, I mean, you can go
Evander
on and
Holyfield.
on. their longevity and how long they dominated their sport.
Oh yeah.
In MMA, there's John Jones. He's only lost once, and that was a disqualification. If he just gets off the darn drugs, he would literally be the greatest athlete in MMA.
Yep.
Okay, he would be put down there because he can't be beat. And then George St. Pierre, who came back after being after his retirement and then coming back and fighting Michael Bisping. But let's get into greatest athletic freaks of all time. Okay.
So, again, my first two are going to start out the exact same as my other one, Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt. Mm-hmm. Then I have Randy Moss.
Okay.
Bo Jackson. Deion Sanders. This one might surprise you, Ryan. Julius Peppers.
Whoa. Julius Peppers?
Julius Peppers.
Now, before you go on with your list, why did you pick Julius Peppers?
You don't see a guy 6'8", 290 pounds, have a 40-inch vertical, play 4 years of basketball, play 4 years of football at North Carolina, 3 years of basketball, and then go on to have a Hall of Fame NFL career as a defensive end.
Okay. I'm going to put another person on my list since you just brought that up.
LeBron. Because, I mean, let's be honest. LeBron could have gone D1, could have gone pro in any sport he wanted to.
Correct.
I have another one that might surprise you, too.
Okay.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah, yes. Dude, he's the answer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime.
Here's another one that literally probably anybody listening to this will probably not know unless you're of the elderly generation or you did research. Jim Thorpe.
Jim Thorpe. Whoa. Jim Thorpe.
Yes. And the whole thing that's funny as to why I say that is that every story and record that Jim Thorpe owns in sports is actually, most of it is actually not confirmed. Mm-hmm. Because it was so long ago. Like, we're talking about, like, the 1890s and the 1900s, like the turn of the last century.
Okay.
But from the stories that I read and the research that I gathered, because I actually did research on him, it was impressive. Mm-hmm. It was impressive. Did I say Bo Jackson yet?
No.
Bo Jackson. Partially, again, he was two-sport star. Mm-hmm. Also, I bet you didn't know this, Ryan. He set the Alabama State high school high jump record as a sophomore in high school that still stands. Still stands.
Wow.
Do you know Bo?
Yeah.
Or what? You don't know Bo?
You don't know
Watch
Bo.
that 30 for 30.
Very good 30 for 30.
Very good.
And that's why with Allen Iverson too, they got a really good documentary with him.
And Randy Moss.
Yep.
And then the last two, actually no, last three. I have Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay.
Because Wilt Chamberlain, I guess he was a very big track star at Kansas as well. Then I know it kind of seems a little bit biased, but I have Vince Carter.
Yeah, I would put him in there. He would be an honorable mention for me.
And another one that you might not, Frank Thomas.
You would put him in for athletic freaks.
You do realize the guy played football at Auburn too, right?
What was his position?
Tight end.
Okay, because he's absolutely a tank.
Yeah,
but athletically,
I'm talking about like young Frank, like in his prime Frank Thomas.
He just seems he's such a tank, dude. He's like so stiff that like.
And
I don't know.
I actually just thought of one more, and I'm going to stop talking after this because I don't want to say any more because I could go on for hours. Herschel Walker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I am going to stop talking now because I could go on about this all day. So, Ryan.
Okay.
Let's hear what you got.
So, I'm surprised you didn't put in Deion Sanders.
I did put in Deion Sanders.
I didn't hear you say that.
I definitely said Deion Sanders.
Say it
That's
again.
prime time. Leon Deion.
Okay.
Leon Sandcastle.
Deion Sanders.
Come on.
Bo Jackson.
Yes. Absolutely.
Tim Tebow.
Oh, God.
Tim Tebow.
Please stop.
It's Tebow time. Come on, dude.
Whose man's is this?
Dude, he's a freak of nature. He's a freak. just like Randy Moss is a freak.
I know, but it's Tim Tebow.
The guy's an absolute freak. Okay.
I know.
Brock Lesnar. That's
True.
why I was excited to bring him up,
True.
dude, because he
Yes.
literally is extremely quick for being a 265-pound
Yeah,
Goliath of a man.
Yeah, he has no neck.
Yeah. Just straight. Just
Yeah, he's a ginormous human being.
and he's strong as an ox.
Yes.
He played football. Well, he didn't play football for long, but he could do anything.
He's a large human
Yeah.
being.
I would put in Antonio Gates.
Ooh.
Yes.
I like me some Antonio Gates.
Because he played 4 years of college basketball.
Didn't play a single down of
Right.
football until someone told him to go try out for the San Diego Chargers.
LeBron,
Yes.
Allen Iverson,
Yes.
Michael Jordan,
Yes.
Barry Sanders.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting, because I actually saw some list where people are putting Barry Sanders as a better running back than Peyton. Which,
You want my opinion?
go ahead.
It's gonna piss you off.
You're going to say that he is, isn't he? I mean, okay.
Breathe.
Okay. As a running back, I could see why. But as a football player, he is not. Because Barry Sanders didn't throw the ball for touchdowns. He didn't catch the ball for touchdowns. You sure as heck didn't see him block anybody. Walter Payton there was a game where Walter Payton was the kicker. He was the field goal kicker. So,
Okay.
I think Peyton is a better overall football player than Barry Sanders. But I could see why you would say that he is a better running back because Barry Sanders retired before he could have broken Peyton's record. Because he could have easily.
To me, he's the greatest running back of all time.
Oh, please stop.
And that's another thing that we can get into, but I'm almost done with our list, okay?
Okay, keep going.
So, I put in Walter Payton, so we're equal there.
As you should.
We're equal there.
As you should.
And I'll go back to Barry Sanders. The reason why Barry Sanders is in my list is because the guy could not be brought down. He didn't have a truck stick really on him. I mean, he was fast, and that's the reason why he would run through people, but he literally had to avoid them by spin moves, juke moves. And he's my favorite of all time. That's the reason why.
He was the running back before Madden 2006 when they introduced the truck stick.
Mm-hmm.
He was Madden 05, 04, 03, 02.
We got to bring Madden in.
Oh, Jesus.
We got to do it. And then Herschel Walker.
Yes. Herschel Walker looks like he could still play, to be honest, which is scary.
So,
XFL,
and then
baby.
I think that a lot of people, and I'm bringing another guy from MMA in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put in George St. Pierre because George St. Pierre.
I was about to think you were going to say Conor McGregor. I was like, please leave.
No. Conor McGregor needs to get out of here, dude. He's a lot of people who just like view the sport for like a quick second will be like,
value.
He's super good, dude. You don't know anything about it. He beat a guy at his weight class. Now, mind you, he has a really good following. But I can go on and on about Conor McGregor. I'm going to be going off about him if I keep going.
Okay.
But George St. Pierre, I put him in there because he's extremely athletic, and he's a very good gymnastics performer. So I'd put him in there. But that's my guy.
Okay.
Okay, so like that's my top 10. And
so if you had to pick one, can you pick one?
Okay. One person out of the most athletic?
Yes.
Ooh.
How about this? How about we make a Mount Rushmore and we each pick two?
Okay, you go first.
Okay. So my first one I would choose. Okay. I'm sorry, he's the greatest Olympian ever. It's Michael Phelps. I'm sorry. You don't be that good at swimming.
So for the greatest, wait, are you talking about the dominating players again? Or
okay, you know what? No, you're right. Okay, so for dominating athletes, best athletes, my two, I shall pick Randy Moss, and I will pick Deion Sanders.
Ooh, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Okay. Well, dominating athletes.
Yes.
Not athletic athletes.
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm going dominating athletes, I'd have to go Michael Jordan.
Okay.
If I had to go now, Michael Jordan out of athletic athletes. Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of like tossed and turned about this. If they dominated their sport,
Yes.
Michael Phelps and Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Michael Phelps and Michael Jordan. That for sure.
I would throw in our honorable mention. I don't know if this is consensus or not. I would throw an honorable mention of Usain Bolt. Would be my honorable mention.
Usain Bolt, yeah.
Okay.
Because
cool.
he couldn't be stopped.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah.
He was just faster than everybody else. And he set that record with a shoe untied. Fun fact.
And athletic people that I would probably put in like my top.
Okay. You go first this time.
It's hard not to say Dan Sanders and Bo Jackson, but I don't want to do that because everybody's going to say that.
Yes.
Because they did so well in both those sports.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say Bo Jackson.
Okay.
And Allen Iverson.
Really?
Yes. Just how
I agree with AI.
Okay.
I do. Mine, if I had to pick two, and this is dominating athletes like ever, right? This is ever. That's the list we're doing? Ever. Again, I have to go with Randy Moss. And so that's one.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I mean, dude, you can't argue with speed. Usain Bolt, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that.
I'd have to say that too. But that is going to wrap up our show.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out with stuff going on. So do you have any plans tonight?
I got a broadcast basketball game tonight. So, everybody at AU's campus, if you are not doing anything and you hear this, then feel free to check out the guys' basketball game. We're coming in tonight at 7 o'clock from the Lancaster Court on the snow-covered campus of Oregon University. Be there or be square!
Look at him doing a little spot for them. All right, guys. Until next time, see you later.
Good night. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, adieu.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Ash Wednesday.